Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be going over some curveballs that I've encountered while auditioning, and those curveballs are unexpected questions. And I feel like sometimes when you're auditioning they kind of throw curveballs at you just to see how you can handle yourself when you're on stage and you make a mistake. So I feel like sometimes these curveballs definitely are to test you if you're on your A game or not, or how rusty you are, because I know even with recent shows I've got into, I haven't done musical theater in a really long time. So when I went in there, people knew the directors who I work for, and they were able to tell I took a break because, to be honest, like with COVID and the fact that it's harder, like in certain areas, sometimes theater isn't as funded as independent film is. So I took a break for a little bit, and when I hopped back in, a couple directors were able to pick that up. So these are just questions I got recently, and I feel like if I knew how to answer them better, I could have. Well, I mean, I still did well, but it's just maybe for other people, once they see these questions, they won't be as, or hear about these questions, they won't be as off guard. So, without further ado, the first question is, what was the last show you were in? Describe it in detail. So I feel like definitely this is a time thing. Like, you have to describe the last show you were in and be specific about it, because I feel like once time passes, you're going to forget a lot of details. Like for me, it's been at least a few years since I've done any, yeah, probably since, well, I was still doing theater like 2021-ish, but still, like, I barely really remembered a lot of details about the show, so that kind of gave it away that I didn't really participate in theater for a little bit. Um, and then this one was, what was your most recent performance? So with this one, they're kind of seeing how much like of a break you took, or if you do like short-term performances like character parties, caroling gigs, or whatever type of gigs, singing telegrams, they want to see your last performance. So what I said was pretty much just character parties, even though it's been a minute. But when you're caught off guard like that, sometimes improv is really just your savior at that moment. Just make up a gig you did. Well, not really make it up, but it's kind of just like recall it, make it seem as recent as possible, because sometimes, for whatever reason, you just gotta make things up on the spot. And here's another curveball that a lot of people, when they audition for theater, they might not really expect a question like this. And that question is, what do you do outside of theater? So with this question, they just want to know, like, if you have a really cool rock collection that you want to share everything about to people. Do you have like a pet rock? I mean, no judgment, but just in case people want to know what you do outside of theater. And that's really important, just to showcase your personality, because as much as people want to act like theater or film or acting is their whole life, we do other things besides it. And it's important that you highlight those things to make yourself different. And here's another curveball. Why did you audition for this show? And usually my answer is because I like the musical, because I love the composer, because I want to be with an awesome group of people. You can keep this question as like generic as possible. It doesn't have to be super detailed. And the final question I've gotten recently was, what are you hoping to get out of this audition? And a lot of times I'll just say a chance to perform, because when you're auditioning, you are performing. So that's really what it comes down to. It's just showing whatever you work on. Maybe you'll get some feedback, and that feedback is a gift, or you may maybe you just will walk out of there and they'll say thank you and you don't really get any sort of feedback at all. But whenever you audition, it's a chance to perform. So yeah, these are the questions I've gotten recently. If I have any more, I will totally update this and do another part 2. But for now, that is it.